Welcome dear students to the Data Structures and Algorithms lecture series. The topic that we are going to learn today is BFS and DFS graph traversal techniques. Okay, so when we are talking about a graph, there are actually two ways how we can traverse through the graph and we can read all the elements of graph. Okay, those are the algorithms called as a breadth first search and depth first search. In short, BFS and DFS algorithm. So let's just go and understand the algorithm in detail. Breadth first search is a graph search algorithm that begins at any root node, explores all the neighboring nodes, and then for each of those nearest nodes, the algorithm explores their unexplored neighbor nodes. And so on it keep on doing until it finds the goal. That means it reaches all other nodes. Now just take an example of this particular graph, okay, and let's try to understand these lines along with the example. Here I have given a graph. So I will start with any particular node as a root node. So say for example, okay, here I have given that we start with some root node. So I consider, suppose C I am considering as my root node and I start from this node. So I should explore all the nodes in the neighbor. So who are the neighbors of C? Yes, the nodes which are having adjacent to C. That means the nodes which are connected to C via some edges. So there are two nodes connected via edges to C, that is B and E. So I can say B and E are the neighbors of C. So first, if I starting from C, the next node that I will explore is B and E. After that, what I am supposed to do? So after exploring the neighboring nodes, then for each of the neighbor nodes, the algorithm again explore their neighbors and it keep on doing that. Yeah. So now there are two neighbor nodes, there is first and second. So for each of them, I have to explore their neighbors. So I'll first go with the first one, that is B, and I'll explore the neighbors of B. Okay. So who are the neighbors which are not yet explored? Yes, C is a neighbor of B, but which is already explored. So now the two new nodes which I will be exploring is A and D. Likewise, I'll keep on doing this and I'll keep on exploring the neighbors of neighbors till I reach my goal. So what is the goal? To reach all the nodes in my graph. Once I reach all the nodes in my graph, I will stop. This is all about the breadth first search algorithm. Now, here in the breadth first search algorithm, whenever I am dealing with the nodes, I am giving one of the three status to the node. Either it will be status 1, status 2 or status 3. If it is initially when I am beginning, I keep the status of all the nodes as 1. That means all of them are ready to be visited. Once I take a particular node in a queue, that node goes to the waiting state. And when it is exited or deleted from the queue, that time that node is been visited and already processed. So whenever a node is visited, that means I am displaying that node and it is processed. So after done with that node, I will change its status to 3. So this way I am changing the status of my node. So now here is this algorithm. Let us try to understand the algorithm along with the example. Initially, I will first set the status is equal to 1, okay, that is ready for each of the node in my graph. Then I will start from the starting node. Say for example, root node. So I can take any node as a root node. Here I am taking A as my root node. And whichever node I am considering, I have to change its status to 2, that is waiting state. Now for this node A, I will go to step 3. I will repeat steps 4 to 5, that is which are highlighted in the green color. They will go in a loop until your queue is becoming empty. Okay. So now what I'm doing is I have A node with me. I have to dequeue a node N. Okay. From queue I have to delete something. So already I have taken A in my queue. So I'll be deleting A. And then set its status. So whichever is getting deleted from your queue is getting visited. That means it is getting processed. So we are writing its status is 3. Okay. After I delete any node from the queue, what I have to do is find its neighbors and enqueue its neighbors in the queue. So जो node delete हो रहा है उसके neighbors को insert करना है या फिर enqueue करना है. Okay, and whenever a node is getting inside the queue, his status changes from 1 to 2. So whenever I am in a queue, my status will be 2. Whenever I am deleted from queue, my status. Hope this is clear now. So now we will see with example. So here I have given a graph. A, B, C, D, E are all the nodes. I have prepared a adjacency list for all the nodes. Say for example, from A, I can go to B, C and D. That's why B, C and D are the adjacent nodes of A. From B, I can go only to E. That's why E is the adjacent node to B. From C, I can go to B and I can go to G. So these are the adjacent nodes. Like that, I have given the adjacent nodes of all the nodes in my graph. Okay, so this is the adjacency list is prepared. Whenever I am using BFS technique, I am making use of a queue. So initially my queue is empty. I have to first start with some node as a root node. So as I told that I will start with the first node as A. So I will enqueue A in my queue. So whenever A is inserted in the queue, we will maintain one more queue along with our actual queue, that is origin. Okay, so from where A is coming, though it is a root node from the first node or the initial node from which we are starting, I will give the origin of A is null. Okay, now I have only one element in my queue. So if my queue is implemented using arrays, so A is stored at location 0 in my array. So queue's front is 0 and rear is 0. Okay, so now I will enter the actual for loop here. So here we can say we are entering the step number 4, 5 and we are going in a loop for all the steps ahead. Okay, what I'm doing, I have to dequeue A and find its neighbor and enqueue them. So what I'm doing now, I will dequeue A. Whatever I'm dequeuing, I'm highlighting with the white color. So A is been dequeued. What I'm doing is I'm finding the adjacency nodes of A. So what are the adjacency nodes? B, C and D. So I have enqueued them in the queue. Okay, now my front is pointing to B and rear is pointing to D. That means front is at location 1 and rear is at location 3. If this is an array at location 0, 1, 2, 3, then front is incremented by 1 and rear is incremented by, rear is now pointing to 3. Okay, after adding B, C and D. Now B, C and D have been added after deleting which node, and they were the neighbors of which node who make them enqueue in the queue. So after deleting A, they have been added as a neighbor of A. So that's why I will be writing origin of B, C and D as A. So why I'm writing origin of B, C and D as A? So after deleting A, I'm adding neighbors of A. So they were added as a neighbors of A. That's why I'm writing their origin is A. So hope this is clear. Now in this looking at this diagram, can we now say which is the next node to be deleted from the queue? Obviously the one which is at front. Who is at front? B. So now I will delete B. So after deleting B, I will find out the neighbors of B. Who is the neighbor of B? E. So now I will enqueue E in the queue. And what is the origin of E? B. Because E is added as a neighbor of B. So now my front is also incremented by 1 because I have deleted B, and my rear is incremented by 1 because I have added one element, that is E over here. So front is at 2 and rear is at 4. Clear? Now what we will do, we'll delete C. Okay. So now I'm deleting C. When I delete C, the front is incremented by 1 and it has become 3. I'm finding the neighbors of C. What are they? B and G. But B was already there in the queue. So now I will not add B once again to the queue. But G was never there in the queue. So now I will only add G to the queue. And I will write down its origin as C because G was added as a neighbor of C. So now the one member is added to the queue. Your rear is also getting incremented by 1. Now who will go next? So D is going to delete next. That's why front will now become 4. So here D is deleted and front has become 4. I will find out the neighbors of D. These are C and G. But as we can see, C and G both are there in the queue. So we will not add anything in our queue. Okay. So now we will just move ahead and delete E. So when we are deleting E, the front should become 5. Okay. So here we are deleting E and front is becoming 5. Now I'm checking the neighbors of E. Those are C and F. C was already there in the queue, so we will not add. But F was not there in the queue. So now I'm adding F to the queue and writing its origin as E because F was added as a neighbor of E. So now though one member is added, my rear is also incremented by 1. Okay, so now your front is at position 5 and rear is at position 6. Okay, so now what we are doing is next G should be deleted and your front should become 6. So now G is deleted, front has become 6 and the neighbors of G are F, H and I, among which F was already been added to the queue but H and I were not there. So I have added H and I and the origin of those are G because they are added as a neighbor of G. Though I have added 2 members, here you see here the rear was 6 earlier case. Now rear has become 8. Okay, after adding H and I. So now your front is actually at 6, rear is at 8 and you have the state. Okay. Now I'm going to delete F, that means front should become 7. Okay. Now there are no more elements to be added because C and H both are there in queue. Next I will delete H. So my front has become 8. Okay. And E and I both are there in my queue. So I will not add anything. And lastly I have only one element which is I, which is at front and rear both pointing to it. And when I delete I, only front will increment and front has become 9, rear is 8. And now I have deleted everything from my queue and nothing to be added in the queue. In this case, your front is actually greater than rear. This is the case which we use to check whether a queue is empty. So whenever your front is greater than rear in a linear queue, we say the queue is empty. So now my queue has become empty and I have visited all the nodes. Okay. So we will stop this particular loop, that is queue is empty. So we have to repeat the steps 4 and 5 until queue is empty. Now queue has become empty, so we will stop and we will end the loop and we will exit. Here we are ending the BFS algorithm. So at the end of BFS algorithm, what we found is a queue is having this thing. Queue is having this nodes visited and the origins are like this. So what we do is by backtracking from any node to the root node of this particular BFS algorithm using origin queue, we can find the minimum path P. Okay. Now, if I want to find out a path P from node A to I, because I have started my BFS algorithm from node A. So from node A, I can give minimum path to any other node. Suppose if I want to find out path from A to I, so what will I do? I will first go to I in my queue. I will find its origin. So what are we doing is, I will first go to I will write down I, then I will find its origin. Origin is G. So then I'll write down G. Then I go to G and I find its origin, that is C. So I write down C. Then I go to C and find its origin, that is A. So I write down A. Now I go to A and find its origin, which is null. So I will stop. Now I can say A to I is this path. A to C, C to G, G to I. If we just go and check A to C, C to G and G to I, that means this is the path. A to C, C to G and G to I. So this will give me a minimum path from A to I. If I want to find out a path to H, okay, say for example, so let's try to find it out. Okay, I'll just find it out over here. If I want to find out the path from A to H, I will go to H. I'll write down H. Then its origin is G. So I'll write down G. Then I'll go to G and find out its origin is C. Then I'll go to C and find out its origin is A. And for A, the origin is null. So I will stop. So A, C, G, H. So A to C, A, C, G, H is a minimum path from A to H. We can see here with this particular example. Okay. So I go from A to C, C to G, and G to H. So this will give me a minimum path from A to H. Likewise, we can get it for any other node from A because we have started with A. Hope this concept is clear with respect to breadth first search algorithm. Okay. So now we'll understand the next algorithm, that is DFS algorithm. So DFS algorithm is nothing but depth first search algorithm. So what does this algorithm says? Depth first search algorithm is progressed by expanding the starting node of G graph, thus going deeper and deeper. Okay, here we are doing something else. We are going deeper and deeper until the goal node or the leaf node or the deepest node in your graph is found. Okay, the node which has no more children left. Okay, when a dead end is reached, something like that. And in such times, then once you reach a dead end, then you have to backtrack, and while coming up or while coming back, you have to visit the unvisited nodes also. Okay, so then while returning to the most recent node that has not been completely explored. Okay, so let's just understand this DFS with a small diagram. Suppose if I think that I'm going to start with node C. So what will I do? I will first, there are two adjacent nodes to C, but I will not go to both of them first. I will go to only one neighbor of C. That is, say for example, B. So now after going B, I should go to neighbors of B. Okay. Again, B has so many neighbors, but I will go only to one neighbor of B. Say for example, A. Then for A, I have so many other neighbors, but I'll try to find out any other neighbor which is not yet explored. Like say for example D. This way I'm just going deepest, I'm just trying to reach to the deepest node other than reaching the nearer nodes. So I'm not going to my neighbors, all neighbors, then their neighbors, then their neighbors. That was a strategy in BFS. But DFS try to go as deep as possible. Okay, so now let's just understand this with the algorithm. Again over here we have the three common states 1, 2 and 3. State 1 indicates we are ready. State 2 indicates we are in waiting state. In BFS we used to use queue. In DFS we are using stack. So when I am going inside a stack, I am going in a waiting state. And when I pop out from the stack, that means I print the value, and that time we are going in process state. That means we are done with the visiting part. So here is the algorithm. So first of all, we'll set status is equal to 1 for each node. Then we push the starting node, say for example root node or A, to the stack. Whichever is going to stack, that status will make 2. And then we will repeat the steps 4 and 5 for all the values in your stack till your stack is becoming empty. What we are doing in this particular loop is, first of all, we pop out a value from the node and we have to process. That means we print it. Once we print, we make a status as 3. And after popping out, we have to push all its neighbors. So we have to push its neighbor to the stack. And then again, we pop out one value from there. Okay. So whenever we push something to the stack, their status should be 2. Okay. That means they are going in a waiting state. So let's just see this example. Here we have given a graph, and also we have prepared a adjacency list for all the nodes. Okay. So now we'll start with the suppose if we want to print all the nodes that can be reached from the node H. So here I am considering my root node as H. Okay. So now I will find out H and I will try to go from H. So which is the first node that I will push to the stack? Obviously H. So first of all, H will go in the top of the stack. So here we have H in the stack. Okay. And now what I'm supposed to do? Okay. As per the algorithm, we have to pop out H. Okay. So when I pop out H, I'm printing it, that's why I have written in this side, and I have to push its neighbors. So who are the neighbors of H? E and I. So E and I have pushed to the stack. Now what is the top of the stack? Your top of the stack is from this side and bottom is from this side. Okay, so now I have done with the first step. Now what is the next step? Now again I'm going in a loop. So what I'm doing in a loop, I'm popping out the topmost element. So now who is the topmost element? I. So I have to remove I. When I remove I, it will be printed over here. And I will push the neighbors of I. What are the neighbors of I? F. So F is pushed to the stack. Now who is going to pop out first? F. So F will be printed here. And the neighbors of F, which is C and H. But H was already there in the stack. So we will cancel out H. We will just push C to the stack. Now C has come to the stack. So now C is going to pop out from the stack. Okay. So I will pop out C. It is printed here. And what are the neighbors of C? B and G. Both were not there in the stack. So I have pushed them to the stack. So now who is on the top? G. So G should be popped out. So after popping out G, I'm printing it over here. And I'm pushing the neighbors of G. Who are the neighbors of G? F, H and I. But as we can see, all of them have been there to the stack. So I will not push anything to the stack. Now I will pop out B from the stack. So B I will pop out and I will print here. Who are the neighbors of B? That is E. E was already there in the stack, so I will not push anything. So now I have only one element left in my stack, that is E. I will pop out E and I will print it over here. And now I will check the neighbors of E. That are C and F, which are already there in the stack. So I will not push it again. So now at this moment, my stack becomes empty and the values which are reachable from H are being printed in the screen. Okay. So this way we can get the values printed over here in a sequence H, I, F, C, G, B and E. Okay. And the stack has become empty. So whenever a stack has become empty, what we have to do? We have to stop the loop. So we will come out of the loop over here. Okay, so this way we will stop. That means our DFS algorithm has done its job and we are finished. So here we can observe one thing, that is there are the nodes which are reachable from the node H. So ये जो सारे nodes है including H, these are the nodes which are reachable from H, that is using DFS algorithm. So if you observe properly, I have how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here I have how many nodes? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 nodes are not yet visited over here. Still my algorithm is complete. Why it has happened? Is it a flaw? No, it is not a flaw. That is not your problem. That is a problem with the graph. Because some nodes which are not been visited are node A, okay, and node D. So your node D is reachable only from A and your node is not reachable by any node. So though you are starting from H, you will not visit A and D, and that is very obvious, not a wrong thing. Okay, so that means the answer which I have got is correct. These are the only nodes which are reachable from the H. Hope you have understood this algorithm about the BFS and DFS. So thank you all for watching this video, and do subscribe the video for the more videos in the same topic. Thank you all.